So today I just wanted to talk about something a little bit different. It's a big day for me because of this, and I wanted to talk about it. So bear with me and stick with me if I ramble on. There's going to be some tangents. So I always wanted to use this channel for more than just menswear and selling clothes. I wanted to share my experiences and even the reason that this Archer & Woods, the store, the channel even exists. And I thought today would be sort of a poignant day to make this video because this is my last antidepressant tablet. So this is a Sertraline 25 mils. I was on 100 mils before and tapered off over 6 weeks to this little tiny pill here. And I take that later. So, and it's a big day for me. Like, I was very lucky with sort of this sort of issue. I wouldn't class what I had as the typical type of depression. But we'll start at the point of when I made Archer & Woods, the store, and why I made it. So it was about 2.5 to 3 years ago. I was in a job that I'd been in for 10 years and I was underpaid. I was kind of irrelevant at the job. The job had the company had changed different directions anyway, and I didn't know a way out. I'd done it since it was my first office job. It was the first way of me making proper money before. I was a hairdresser. Didn't want to do that before, and all sorts. So it was just a job that I was just sort of stuck in. Hadn't had a pay rise for ages, and I wasn't really needed or wanted at that point as well. I'd always done photography as a sort of side gig and made a bit of money through that, and used it was a passion. And made me get into menswear and meet some really cool people, but it was never really a full success. I keep this. So this is my a goal of mine was always to make it into GQ. I got one photo in GQ and it paid me £50 in the print one. And it wasn't like I did a shoot for them or anything like that at all, but from when I was doing street style, I just kind of realised it wasn't for me. There's so much competition. It's a hard one, and I didn't have the confidence in myself to do it at that point. I didn't have the tools. I don't know, mate. I just wasn't. It's all on me. I wasn't in it as much as I should have. But anyway, so I hit this point. I was in tens of thousands of pounds of debt as well. That just got out of control from starting off on my boys' holiday in Mallorca to just paying for the plane trip, then just paying for this, just paying for that. It's all on the tab, so don't worry about it really. Never really thinking I'd pay it off, and then it just got out of control at that point. So it was in a pretty stodgy place. It was a bit of a dark place at the time, but I didn't really think about it. I wasn't really thinking, oh, I'm depressed or anything like that at all. I was just, living a normal life, but I was at this sort of point, I was definitely a little bit down in the dumps. My friends were sort of like moving on to different things, even in relationships, just moving on to different sort of stuff, and I sort of felt like it was all passing me by a little bit. But I'd had anxiety issues when I was like in my early teens, so I knew all about it. I'd had anxiety attacks. That was the thing that made me, it was tough. So it was like you could not resist it. This was like you're going to die every night. So I was aware of that, and I didn't have those anxiety attacks. I felt in control because I'd gone from that experience. I felt like I can deal with it. And that's probably where it hit me. That's probably where it went wrong the most for me, because I ignored it so much, just tried to like blunder through. I'll be all right, that, and I didn't talk to anyone because of the amount of learning I'd done previously and the amount of work I'd done previously years ago, because I was fine for years, that I just felt I knew best. So I just thought, let's just write it out. But there was one point, and I think that's just the way my mind and my body works. It needs to be punched in the fucking face and told, you need to do something about this. So I won't go into the ins and outs of it, although just to sort of, so my body, it seems like I need to manifest something in myself, that like an anxiety attack, but it ended up being some tinnitus. I've had tinnitus for a long time. I was actually at work one day when there's some drilling going on, and then I had it was just going on, but it kind of just like went away in the back. It's still there, it was always there, but it was just in the background. Didn't really think about it. You habitualize to it, so you just your subconscious just drowns it out anyway. And at that point, I was going off to do this amazing job photographing in Croatia for a summer. So I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna enjoy myself, and it never bothered me. But one day, one day I was just feeling a little bit odd. Then with that sort of habitualization disappeared. So I was immediately aware of this ringing. I was like, fuck, okay, that's a lot. Yeah, and I started to worry about it because I couldn't sleep. I was worried that I couldn't sleep, which was probably the more of the issue. And then all sorts of stuff spiraled. And the more I spiraled, the more I worried about it, the more it got worse, the more it got louder. It was the equivalent of fire alarms going off in your head. Not just one, which was a little humming before. It's like 10 fire alarms all at once, screaming. You're anxious. It was fucking insane. So that was a long period of me just being like, okay, I couldn't work, couldn't sleep. I was just more, and looking back at it, it's just the worry of it. If I'd have said to myself, it's fine, I'll get over it, I'll habitualize like it was for, like my brain would just drown it out, it would have happened without a doubt. And for anyone going through that situation, that's the way it works. Your brain will just drown it out. You just need to sort the root of the problem out, the stress, and then you'll drown it out. This is also compounded by doing the stupidest thing possible. So one of the reasons I also want to make the video is just to sort of speak about this sort of stuff, because I did this dumbest thing and I went on the message boards because I didn't know anyone with tinnitus anyway, especially my age. And then for that to happen, to be like, I just need someone to tell me I was okay, it would be okay. And do not go on the message boards. Whatever you have, whatever it is, never go on a message board. It's literally the worst thing you can possibly do. But it's like anything, you shouldn't let Dr. Google diagnose you. I should have known that, but that is a pit of despair. That the people on there who were living their lives, the stories I heard, made things a lot worse for me, because I was like, I don't want to be like that. That can't be my life. But I had nothing to tell me otherwise. I had nothing to tell me. I didn't have enough money to go to like therapy. I thought that's the way out. Someone to pretty much tell me I was going to be okay rather than anything else. It was a bit of a funk. So anyway, my family obviously noticed I was a bit of a nervous wreck and didn't know how to deal with it. You can't see this. And also it became like a depression, because I was depressed about not being able to live a normal life, not being able to sleep. So they were like, go see someone, but also take some antidepressants. It's completely normal. Loads of people are on them. I was always against it because, just the whole idea of just dealing things for myself, being more natural. I fought it. I mean, even actually on the medical forums, on the tinnitus forums, they'd said it will get worse if you take antibiotics. Like people were like, I've done this and it got worse. I took these and it got worse. All this sort of stuff. This just nonsense. I wanted therapy first, but I went on the NHS. There's a 12-month wait for therapy at the very least, but that's only if you're going to unalive yourself. So I ended up eventually at one point trying to go into a pub and I couldn't get in. I couldn't, literally, it was like a wall of noise that I couldn't break. I couldn't walk through. It was insane. Like all the noises were just intense. And basically, from really looking in it, my nervous system was telling me fear, because it's like a fight or flight response. My nervous system was saying every noise is a threat. So all my nervous system was like glaring up, and it manifested in noises, sounds. I was so intensely aware. And really, the idea is to get back to that homeostasis point of where you're calm and at peace, and that's the way to recovery, really. But anyway, that's the digression. That can go to another conversation. I ended up, because of that moment, a few bits passed, but a few things happened, but I ended up going, okay, I'm going to take the medication. What life am I having? Fuck it, I've got nothing to lose anyway, so let's do it. And it wasn't like this was the complete panacea to all the problems, but it was a starting point. It was a marker to me just saying, fuck it, let's go, let's work towards recovery, because there's nothing to lose now. And that was it. So in terms of so I took it. It obviously takes a while to work, but I also decided I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to work my way out of it myself. I needed to build some self-esteem. I needed to build a life. I couldn't socialize so much at that point. I didn't feel like socializing, so it was more doing what I love, like photography and just photography, art, things like that. So Fashion Week was rolling around. I wasn't getting paid to do it, but I was just like, I'm going to go and take some photos. But I thought just before that, I'm going to dress a little bit different. I'm going to make an effort, because before I used to wear just like fast fashion stuff, ASOS gear, top man, and just be a bit of an outsider, be the photographer rather than anyone participating in the pageantry of Fashion Week. Even though I love menswear, but I just couldn't afford it. So I ended up thrifting a Reiss blue coat I had an old blue t-shirt and some trousers, I think they may have been Reiss as well, and some Paul Smith Oxfords that I got for like £30 on eBay, which were like awesome. And I felt $1,000,000. I mean, in contrast to what I was feeling before, like it was day and night. That then helped me when I was out and I was taking photos. I was like in that sort of flow. I was just enjoying myself, and people were complimenting me. People I'd seen previously, and they were like, "Oh, you look different. You've made an effort. You don't look like shit." So that was good. That really helped my self-esteem. And then there was that, and then I decided to sort of carry that on. Thrift more clothes, thrift more items that I liked. I always loved tailoring, but I always felt too young to wear it. I never felt like I had the right body shape, or even though the first thing about it really, it was all like top man tailoring. So learned more, gradually grew in confidence, and literally, honestly, within weeks, I'd got a new job. I'd applied for a new job, which was the first start, because I didn't even do that before. I didn't even think about leaving. Got a new job, I just felt unbelievably better about myself. And I would definitely put it a little bit down to these, but also the work put into making myself look better from the outside. So looking after myself a bit more. I'd lost a lot of weight anyway because of nerves, but that whole thing, and actually taking care of my appearance, made me feel 10 foot tall. It was just the whole thing, and that's one of the reasons why I made the store. Firstly, because the value with the stuff I was finding, the clothes I was finding for like, even though it was those Paul Smith Oxford shoes, leather shoes for £20-30, I was like, that's a great deal. So just no matter what, these shoes are going to last a long time, and grew on that. Learned about brands that make these clothes to last a lifetime, and then I can't wear all this stuff, so I thought to sell it. Obviously, I've had to work for it. I had to use my network of people that I know, all in like the fashion world and what they're chucking out or giving away, and find that stuff for the store. But yeah, it's the value, and the value doesn't just come from these items, but also from the value yourself, from self-value, from having these clothes. Gives you, that sounds trite, from wearing, looking better, from the outside in, you can start to feel better. You can gain that confidence. You have to do the inside work too, but it's armor. This is the sort of classic, the cliche of it, that clothes are like, especially a suit, is like armor. It makes you feel better. It makes you pull your shoulders back more, walk a little bit taller, and that is 100% true. And that is why I'm so intent on making this store a success, with items that do just that are the sort of items I dreamed about wearing, and know that they can be of value to someone else. And also having a price range from under £100 to the nicer stuff, but still at a fraction of the cost of the original cost. And yeah, essentially that's why I wanted to make the store. It's a twofold value of mental health, but also the value that you're getting from the clothes. If they're at the right price, if they're made well, it's significant. So why did I decide to stop taking these? Well, I could have probably not taken them for quite some time, I think, but it just felt the right moment now. They do make you pack a bit of weight, but that's something to work on, and I just don't feel like I need them at all. It feels like it's time to push on from a moment of strength, and to be honest, I wouldn't change a thing. Like, the fire alarms are still going off in my head. They're there. If I listen, they're there. When I sleep, they're there, and when I'm stressed, they're there. But again, and for anyone who is going through this, they go to the back of your mind. It's absolutely fine. I don't think about them, they don't bother me, they don't keep me up. It's just there. And it does show to me that you can actually get used to anything, and your brain can get used to anything. You just got to detach the fear, detach that sort of worry, and focus on something positive. And it's the key. That's the absolute key to everything. Without it, I wouldn't have gained the confidence to make the store, to leave my previous job, to take care of my appearance, to make a YouTube channel, to make the videos. I would never ever have put myself out there to make a video like this in the past, ever. To make the video, let alone put it on YouTube. So the worst thing that happened to me, I dread to think where I'd be if it hadn't happened to me. So, which is kind of fucked up, but also kind of great. So that's it. I'm looking forward to taking this guy soon, and that'll be that. And yeah, I hope this video could explain the origins of Archer & Woods. I'm definitely going to be doing some more sort of mental health stuff, things that have helped me, books and all sorts. But yeah, So check out the store. Do I tell you to go to archandwoods.com at this point? If you have any questions, or if you've, happy to answer any questions on this subject completely, hello@archandwoods.co.uk, or on our socials, or drop a comment, and speak to you soon.